Welcome to Washington, D.C., a city named after a general who won our country's freedom by fighting an army bent on gun confiscation, who went on with his compatriots to make liberty the cornerstone of this great nation. So many amazing statesmen have worked here trying to build laws that would constrain governments but let men be free, create tight jurisdictions for the state, but incredibly wide opportunities for citizens. But not this week. This week, the agenda is making sure we can't make guns on a 3D printer.
With 3D printing, there's no way to enforce these laws.
This changes the safety of Americans forever if this is allowed to happen.
This is about weapons of war being made in people's living rooms.
The firearms will be plastic and untraceable.
These ghost guns are the new wave of American gun violence.
This invitation to chaos brought to you by the Trump administration.
Now, if you're curious about what kicked off this particular panic about 3D printed firearms, you can head over to the T.REX ARMS blog, where we have a brief write-up about that. But essentially, the short version is this. The United States government wants to shut down a firearms designer who has not broken any laws, and they can't do that. So they're trying to give themselves enough power that they can.
We're going to have to pass legislation because they are just enslaved by the NRA.
There's been a lot of misdirection and confusion regarding this campaign, but the conversation has essentially revolved around two, let's just call them lies. So Cody Wilson and Distributed Defense have essentially been distributing two completely different kind of files. The first is a model for the Liberator pistol, something that can be made out of plastic on a 3D printer, and it's a firearm only by the loosest possible definition. But if you're very, very lucky, you can shoot 2 bullets out of it before it turns into shrapnel. The other thing that they've been distributing on their website are the designs for AR-15 and 1911 firearm parts. But they have to be made out of metal, just like firearms have been for centuries. And these designs have been circulating in the public domain globally through gunsmithing books for decades. So the first big lie is how ignorant reporters and fear-mongering legislators have been purposefully confusing these two very different things to create one thing that is supposedly the scariest situation possible. A brand new gun that has already been used to commit crimes, that is made using a brand new manufacturing technique, but it's also incredibly effective as a weapon. It can pass through X-ray machines. It can be made by anyone, anywhere, without any special equipment or skill. And unless stopped, this imaginary, completely made-up Franken-weapon is going to create an incredibly catastrophic global gun-pocalypse.
The United States of America will be the biggest exporter of terror if we fail to stop these ghost guns.
Now, this insane hyperbole is necessary because what we're talking about here is an insane expansion of government powers. We're not talking just about infringing on a little bit of the Second Amendment, hobbyists that want to make their own guns. We're talking about control over information and violations of the First Amendment, which brings us to the second lie. Senator Blumenthal and his legislative buddies are saying that this issue is only going to be related to gun control. It's only about controlling firearms. However, in order to accomplish what they want to accomplish, they would also need website control and book control and manufacturing tool control and the ability to restrict technological development in the future. But federal judges and legislators are now demanding that they have the power to oversee and punish people that put just regular engineering documents online.
What I'm opposed to is technology unchecked.
David Chipman is a retired ATF special agent.
Right now, some legislators and reporters are trying to make 3D printing synonymous with scary illegal firearms. But the aerospace industry and the medical industry and so many other inventors and educators are doing more with 3D technology than anybody else. In fact, I would say that the firearms industry has the least to benefit from 3D printing. Now, if we regulate 3D printers because somebody might misuse them, people will still make firearms using pieces of metal on a milling machine or a drill press or using hand tools. In Pakistan, people make complete firearms using a hammer and a hand file. Pretty soon the government is going to need to regulate those. And if you think I'm being hyperbolic, remember that in London there are politicians who believe that their citizens can't be trusted with steak knives.
Yeah, in 1 week alone, we've taken off 130, just 1 week, 135 knives.
In Peckham, another part of South London, on a troubled estate, officers found 2 knives within half an hour.
So here's the bottom line. If the government is able to control the tools that you have access to and the information that you can legally share, it'll be a minor blow to manufacturing today, a major blow to innovation tomorrow, and possibly even a lethal blow to American freedom in the future.